downtown rails are very selective, and a lot of the time we don't see that many trains. Welcome back to the Sunshine State Rails. As I just mentioned, those 1, 2, or less than normal train days happen way more often than one might think. Here's another video showcasing some of those random catches that we've seen recently. To be completely honest, these days happen all the time, to the point where I'm probably going to end up making a type of series out of this kind of videos because they happen that much. A couple weeks ago, I caught 0750 switching the Piney Point Spur over in Port Manatee. This was just a random catch of 0750 that we lucked out on after filming over at the Florida Railroad Museum in the Jetto Coal 85 steam locomotive event there. It was after coming over here that we found 0750 trying to get onto the spur. He was backing across US 41 to pick up 2 empty tank cars and set in a loaded one. I don't know how these cars that come in here get to the customer's unloading area, but the customer here looks to be Thatcher Chemical of Florida, whatever that is. The tank cars are set out here in this random field. Now, as to whether trucks come out here and unload them, or they have some other switcher locomotive that moves them in, is beyond me. But the only movement I've seen on these rails is 750. 750 pulls the 2 empty tank cars out of the spur and puts them with the rest of his train. Then 750 comes back past the switch and shoves the loaded tank car into position.
Good, 547.
Then 750 rejoined the rest of his train and he was ready to head back north toward Tampa, but he had some other stuff in his train, so he may still have had a few duties left. Here we had attempted to chase 0750 back north a little bit to the Little Manatee River because we still had some daylight left. but this is all that we would see of 750 before we would leave. Because the Little Manatee Swing Bridge was open, and the train could not cross at that point, and because of a new operating system that the bridge tenders down here are using, and I can only say this because I knew most of the bridge tenders on this line, the bridge now requires 3 hours notice before the bridge can be opened. And if boat traffic needs it open, they'd have to wait 3 hours before they could get someone out here to open it. But today, it looks like it's the other way around. They must have opened it recently, though, because it would have had to be closed for 750 to come across from the other side, which he already has. So it would have been closed then, but they must have opened it for whatever reason. While I had the drone on the other side of the river, though, I took the chance to look at this old signal that I believe is one of the last of its kind to stand in Florida. I'm not exactly sure what the name of these signals are, but the top heads are sawed off on each side, and a searchlight head sits below. These are approach lit signals, interlocked to the bridge only. The signals here will light yellow when the bridge is lined and locked, or red where in this case the bridge is either open or something isn't locked. Here we can also see at a little better angle that the bridge has in fact been repainted. It's definitely the end of an era for this bridge. But what hasn't changed is that this is the only bridge on this line that still needs to be manually opened by an on-site bridge tender. Both the Alafaya and Big Manatee rivers are remote controlled. A few months prior, we had caught the Florida Railroad Museum at Dickey Road returning from Willow after their World War II reenactment. This was a day we had come out here to do some landscaping around Dickey Road, which included clearing out that ditch to the right and doing some weed whacking around the tracks, which had become slightly overgrown. This would be one of the final shots that I would receive of the Alco S2M number 251 sporting its Nathan K3H horn. Just this past Christmas, they had the horn changed out again. It was known that this would happen because it was stated before that the K3H was a temporary horn, but at that point we were expecting the P3, which was its original horn, to be put back on once they tinkered around with it. But instead, a P5A went on the hood. I caught this horn at Christmas and it didn't sound that good. Now, I don't know if they've worked on it since or if they've just worked the horn in a little bit. Either way, as of February 2020, the horn sounds absolutely stunning in my opinion. This was a video that we shot on February 15th after stopping here on our way back from railfanning Tampa. The train's only doing about 5 or 6 miles an hour, as the museum is currently putting on their Murder Mystery Dinner Train event, and their skit takes quite a while. So to give the actors enough time to get the skit in, they have to go this slow for most of the trip so they can get it in enough time. We would make a quick run down to Parrish to catch the train pulling into the station, as well as to say hi to a few friends before heading home for good, to where we would set up on the east side of the tracks. Not usually somewhere that people get to set up anymore, But behind me is something that you can't see from this shot, but they've cleared out most of the brush here for what will someday be extra parking for mostly their Day Out with Thomas event, but they can probably have it available for any other event that they have excess people that need to park. This will be all for this video. There weren't that many trains for this one, but I can assure you that in the future there will definitely be more of these random train videos, because I can say with utter certainty that this will happen many times again. So until next time, this is Kotabeaner in Parrish, Florida, and I'll see you next time on the Sunshine State Rails.